today. 39-year-old Danny Gilbert is a mother of two, a wife, and a teacher, and she's fighting for her life.
We've met our obligations through our premiums, our deductible, our out-of-pocket max, all that stuff, and now it seems like when we need them most, they're not here for us.
In the 2 years since she was diagnosed, her oncologist treated her with chemotherapy in conjunction with the drug Avastin. When her body grew resistant to the initial chemotherapy, the doctor started second-line therapy and discontinued Avastin in April. Then, at a national meeting of oncologists in June, research was presented that confirmed continuing Avastin during second-line therapy can prolong a patient's life. The oncologist prescribed it again for Gilbert.
We are practicing evidence-based medicine, and the evidence is there that there's a drug there that can prolong Danny's life.
That's when she found out Blue Cross wouldn't cover Avastin for second-line therapy, saying it was, quote, experimental.
She's already taken 30 rounds of it. It wasn't successful in holding her tumors down. Her tumors grew while she was on the drug. And the standard of care is when that happens, you stop taking the drug, which is what her doctor ordered for her in April, and you don't take it again.
Some corporate communications director at the insurance company wants to play doctor, has no clue what she's talking about, saying that this is not the standard of care. That was the standard of care 3 months ago. We were practicing some of the most up-to-date medicine here at St. Luke's Misty. And the insurance company is saying, we're still not going to call it the standard of care in July 2012 because we want to play off of the old rules.
The denial letter Gilbert received on Monday says the FDA label for Avastin indicates it's approved for, quote, first-line or second-line treatment. And Blue Cross says that means one or the other. But Erica Jefferson at the FDA questioned Blue Cross's interpretation, telling me, quote, I think that's a literal interpretation. I don't read it either or. I read it and. Blue Cross also says that the National Comprehensive Cancer Network's guidelines don't recommend continuing Avastin for second-line treatment. Those guidelines were updated in January, and the new research came out in June.
The insurers are trying to deny Danny care by going off of a technicality because the data are out there. We all know it.
Blue Cross says it's provided $350,000 in coverage since her diagnosis. But now Gilbert must pay close to $7,000 a month for a drug that could prolong her life.
It's not just that this is going to add 5 or 6 weeks to Danny's life, and it's the possibility of more. But even if it's not more, I mean, if it gets down to who's to decide that?
Gilbert's friends started a petition on change.org calling for Blue Cross to cover Avastin. Gilbert and her husband delivered the petition with more than 100,000 signatures from people around the country. So far, Blue Cross hasn't changed its position.
Ideally, I'd like to have the drug covered. I mean, that's ultimately what we hope for. But also, too, to raise awareness, to show people you have the right to appeal, you have the right to petition in this case, and it's just important to make your voice heard.
Gilbert has a right to a first and second appeal and then for her case to be reviewed by an independent agency. She says she plans to submit her second appeal in the next week. Live in the studio, Jensen, Fox 9 on your side.